Hello, it's Kristen. I am going to do a book haul today. I haven't done a book haul in ages. I haven't bought myself books in ages, apart from the book subscription books I'm subscribed to. I haven't bought myself books in I think like a year and a half because I have a huge TBR, so I shouldn't really buy myself books. But we're in the middle of a pandemic. I was sad. When I'm sad, I buy myself stuff because that's a healthy coping mechanism. So let's just get into it. To start with, I bought a couple of eBooks for my Kindle. I've just got the covers on my phone for now. I saw Rebecca Weatherspoon say that a bunch of her books had been discounted on Kindle for like a certain period of time. So I thought this is the perfect time to pick them up because I've been wanting to read Rebecca Weatherspoon for so long, and this seemed like the perfect time to check her out. So I got the first book I'd ever heard of, which is the first book that made me want to read Rebecca Weatherspoon, and that's Haven, which, as far as I can remember, is a woman who goes missing in the woods or something, or gets lost or injured in some woods, and then this guy finds her and like rescues her, and then they get into a sexual relationship. I'm sold. I love quick to the point sexy romance. And then I also got the other one of hers that I was excited about when I first heard about it. That is Wraith, which is a buff male nanny romance. That's all there is to it. That's all I need to know. So I got those to my Kindle, which I'm very excited to get to. I haven't read a romance in a while, so very happy. Then I ordered a bunch of books from Waterstones, and they came in this box. So let's get into it. I'm just going to pull them out of the box as we go through. First of all, I got Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen. This one I'm so excited to get to. When I first heard about it, it sounded right up my alley. It's like a young adult feminist kind of thing, and these two friends decide to form like a group, like a creative group I believe, and want to put like women's issues, women's rights front and centre, and this sounded great. It reminded me a lot of the premise of Moxie by Jennifer Matthew, and I really enjoyed that book. That kind of vibe is like very much my thing. Like girls getting together, coming up with creative projects is like one of my favourite themes, tropes in a book. So I'm so excited to get to this. Next up, we have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This, again, young adult. This was sort of the reason I placed the order. I had a bunch of books like in my basket on my wish list for ages, and I hadn't got through to actually clicking and buying. But then this book just came out on Waterstones and was like one that I really wanted to get to, so I thought if I'm gonna buy this, I waited for it to be released in July, might as well buy all the other books. This one is about a girl called Liz who wants to get into a good college, I believe, and can't afford it, but if you win prom queen, I think there's like a monetary reward you get for winning. So she decides to go for prom queen, and in the process of doing so falls in love with a another girl who is also going for prom queen. That premise sounds so fun. And this cover, like, purple is my favourite colour. This is beautiful. So I cannot wait to get to this. Then we've got The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I, for ages, didn't know if I was going to pick this up or not because it's a chunky boy. But it was on offer. It was like a couple of pounds discounted. So for a book this size, it was kind of cheap. It was like $7.99 or something. So I thought, why not? And I've been wanting to read more fantasy recently. And I thought, what other fantasy than this guy? I don't know a lot about it. I believe it's like 3 perspectives, or covers like 3 main characters, and has like magic and kingdoms or queendoms, and how all the like different characters intersect. And there's a dragon on the cover, so I'm assuming there's a dragon in here. And like magical creature fantasy is amazing, so I'm excited to get to a chunky epic fantasy. Speaking of female fantasy, next up we have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This one I really don't know that much about. I know the main character is called Rin, and she goes to a military school, but that's pretty much all I know. But I've just heard fantastic things, and I believe that the 3rd and possibly final book has just recently come out. So I thought, if I really love this, then I can just buy the others. I feel like female fantasy is really what I want right now, so we're doing it. Then I got The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. This has been on my radar for years, and I've never got around to buying it. And then I watched the movie this year as part of a personal project I'm doing to watch more movies directed by women. So I realised that the movie was directed by a queer woman, so it like shot to the top of my list for movie watching. And I really enjoyed it. So I thought, I'm gonna get the book. It's gonna push me to get the book. This cover is beautiful. And when I pulled it out, I did not realise this, but the pages on the side are like the Pride rainbow. I love it. This book is about a young lesbian who gets discovered as being a lesbian by her sort of conservative townsfolk, and so her aunt sends her to a conversion camp. So it's not super fun and lighthearted, but I really liked the vibe of the movie, so I'm hoping the book is just as good. Often I find books tend to be better than the movie, so if I liked the movie a lot, I have high hopes for this. Then we have last 2 books kind of come together. So we've got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which I have actually read. I read this from the library last year. It was one of the last books I read of 2019, but I really enjoyed it. Considering it's like a thicker book, I read this in like 2 days. I sped through it. This is about a girl called Pippa who, as her like class project, she decides to try and solve this case in her town that is technically solved because the police thought it was this one boy who did it, and that boy then killed himself. So everyone thinks this boy killed his girlfriend and then killed himself out of guilt. But Pippa doesn't believe that. She doesn't think that the boy is guilty. So she and his brother then sort of team up to try and find out the truth about what actually happened, because there's a lot of loose ends and things that didn't make sense in the original case, but it was sort of an easy case. A lot of people thought, oh, that's the obvious thing that happened, so that was case closed. But Pippa decides to take things into her own hands. It was really gripping, had some good twists, it was really fun, and it had like that good amount of, I followed along with the story. Some of my guesses were correct and some were incorrect, but I like that in a mystery. I like being able to be smug enough that I got some of the answers right, but also surprised in some of what happens. So I really enjoyed this, and I've just been thinking about it so much, it's stuck in my head. So I wanted to buy it because I wanted to read the sequel, Good Girl, Bad Blood. And I really wanted to read this, and obviously libraries aren't open at the moment. And so because I read this from the library, I thought, oh, they'll probably have this at the library eventually. But I didn't want to wait until the library was open. I wanted to read it like now, because I'm impatient. So I thought, if I'm buying a sequel, I might as well buy the first book, and they were both on offer, like reduced several pounds from full price. So I picked them both up. This one follows Pippa again, Pip, and I believe this time she has a true crime podcast now. But it says in the blurb that she's decided that her investigating days are behind her after everything that happens in the first one. But then someone goes missing and she sort of gets drawn into the mystery. So I'm really excited to get to this. I've heard it's really good, and I really hope it's as engaging as the first one, because I really enjoyed the first one. Young adult mysteries can be hit and miss, but I really enjoyed this one, so I'm excited to get to the second one. And also, these look so good together, so I'm gonna have to put that on Instagram. I also like this book because it's kind of multimedia. There's like reports and stuff in them, and like notes and entry logs for her project and stuff, so I like a mixed media kind of book as well. So that is everything. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can get all these in frame. There we go. I'm so excited about all these books. I cannot wait to read them. There we go. That is my book haul. Tell me in the comments below if you've read any of these, or if you've recently bought any of them for yourself maybe, and if you enjoyed them. Obviously no spoilers, and maybe don't tell me if you hated them. But I'm so excited. I don't know when to start, but even though these are my newer purchases, I feel like I'm going to make them a priority, because I want to start reading books as soon as I buy them, whilst I'm still really excited about them, rather than what I usually do, which is buy a book, don't read it for ages, and then I don't care as much. That's the video for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.